Hello everyone, welcome to China Overview. Today we'll continue to talk about traditional Chinese medicine. TCM is very different from Western medicine because it explains a person's physiological phenomena and pathological changes from the theory of yin and yang and the 5 elements, and also it has a holistic view towards a person's disease and also emphasized on the disease prevention. And in the previous hour, we talked about the yin and the yang. And speaking of yin and the yang, according to the TCM, the yin and the yang should be in balance in the person's body. If there's imbalance between yin and yang, then the person would certainly have illnesses. And today, we'll continue to learn another important element in traditional Chinese medicine, that is the 5 elements. So we have covered the basic theories, and then we'll focus on the 5 elements. The 5 elements theory relates to concepts that were developed over time in the daily life of the people of ancient China. The 5 elements are wood, 木, fire, 火, soil, 土, metal, 金, and the water, 水. The theory holds that those 5 elements are the 5 base materials which make up all the things in the natural world. So let's see some more details of the 5 elements. The first one is metal. Metal refers to all metallic minerals such as gold, silver, copper, iron, and tin. In ancient China, it was said that metal is characterized by change. The meaning of metal is therefore extended to all things that have the function of cleaning, purification, and astringency. All of these are therefore encapsulated in the category of metal. Now let's see what comes next. The next element is wood, and wood represents all plants such as flowers, grasses, trees, and grains. And then we have the third element, water. Water refers to the various forms and the characteristics of water. So the fourth element is the fire. Fire or flame represents all things that pertain to heat. The last element is the soil. Soil refers to the category of things that have the nature of soil and the land. So you might ask, what's the relationship between the 5 elements? Now let's see. The 5 elements in TCM are mentioned in the sequence of wood, fire, soil, metal, and water. This sequence was decided according to the promotion order or the mother-child relation. Let's see the details. Now the promotion order, so wood promotes fire, because we can understand this relationship in this way, because if you burn the wood, then you have the fire. Then next, fire promotes soil. Why fire promotes the soil? We can understand in this way, because if you burn things, then the ashes will become soil. That's why we say fire promotes soil. And then soil promotes metal, because the metals were found in the soil, in the earth. So we say soil promotes metal. And then metal promotes water, because if you melt the metal, then you get water. And water promotes wood, because if you water the wood, the plants would grow better and better. So that's the promotion order between the 5 elements. And then let's see the restraint order between the 5 elements. Wood restrain the soil, and soil restrain water. I think this part is easier to understand, right? And the fire restrains metal, and the metal restrains wood. So these are the restraint order between the 5 elements. Now look at the table of correspondence among the 5 elements, nature and the human body. So we can see that in the traditional Chinese medicine, we use the wood to connect the wood with the liver, and we also use the wood to connect with the eye. And let's see the 5 emotions. So wood is associated with the emotion angry, and the fire is associated with the emotion joy, and the soil is associated with contemplation, and the metal is associated with grief, and the water is associated with the fear. And I would like you to pay special attention to this part. So because when we are diagnosing a patient's disease, we will need to use these things or methods. And just now, I also mentioned the holistic view. So according to the holistic view in the traditional Chinese medicine, man is an integral part of nature. It involves adapting the body to changes in the climate and regulating spiritual activities, daily food, and the clothing, and the living habits. So how can we understand that? That is to say, I will give you a very simple example. For example, now when I'm teaching this lecture, it's the springtime, and in the springtime, it's regarded that the yang qi is on the rise. So when you are eating food, you need to avoid the food which might contain too much yang in this food, because if you eat too much food that contains yang, and then you might have a kind of symptom which Chinese people say frequently, that is, you might suffer from 上火, right? And if you suffered from 上火, you will see some pimples on your face. So this is an example between the relationship of the food and the disease. So that's why we say that we need to obey the rules and the principles of heaven and the nature, and its aim is to adapt to the rules of growth and the storage so as to realize to prevent diseases and keep fit. And speaking of the relationship between diet and the weather or the climate, the more details will be discussed in the future topics, that is the 24 solar terms. In the 24 solar terms, that part, we will get to know what kind of food is suggested for people to eat in different solar terms, that is 节气. So that's for the holistic view. And then let's see the qi thing. Qi is also something many foreign students might find it very hard to understand, right? Because Chinese people always say 气血不足. So what is qi? Now let's see here. There's a Chinese saying that states human lives on a mouth of qi. To judge whether a man was dead or not, people put a piece of cotton by his nose. If the cotton didn't move, it meant the person's qi was exhausted and that he was dead. And let's see some more information about qi. Qi is the fundamental substance constituting the universe. All phenomena were the results of the changes and the movements of qi. According to TCM, qi is the most essential substance that forms the human body and maintains of our life. So let's see the 5 functions of qi. The first function is the function of promoting the movement of the blood or of the things in the human body, and the function of warming. For example, we say that if a person is 气血不足, that is the qi and the blood is not adequate, then this person is easily to feel cold. He might need to wear a coat in summer because he or she lacks qi. And a defensive function, that is, if the qi is enough, we have good qi and the bad qi. If the good qi is enough in your body, then the bad qi cannot enter your body. So you might not get a cold or have a disease. But if the good qi is not enough in your body, then the bad qi might enter your body, and then you might have illness. And the function of securing and containing, that is to save our body or to secure our body, right? And the function of transformation. So with qi, qi can be transformed or can take things to different vessels or, things like that. And I'll give you another example. For example, if a person speaks a lot, then it's regarded that the qi is used up. So you will find that teachers usually have the symptom of 气血不足 because they speak too much, so their qi is not enough. Yeah, and in the next lesson, we will learn the diagnosis and the treatment of traditional Chinese medicine. So that's all for today's lesson, and thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.